Sunday. I am Moe Sass, your host of Sundays with Sass. I am your vision and empowerment extreme execution coach who comes every single Sunday so we can talk about all the ways in which we can better our best. And I'm super excited because we are well into April. But the very first question I have for you is, have you purchased your copy of Finding Your Way 7 Ways to Love and Heal Yourself? Listen, the amount of testimonies and reviews that has come in, the revelations that people have had as a result of reading this book, I could not have asked for anything better. And I am going to continue to ask you to purchase it for a friend. Listen, for a friend of a friend, because I want to affect as many people as I can. I will want people to get free from whatever is holding them back. And those words literally are in this book that you need. And I will leave the link if you would like to purchase it off of Amazon down below. And if you would like an autographed copy, you can order it off my website, www.mosass.com. Well, let's get into it, because today I was given a revelation and a word that I really want to talk to you about, and it's actually going to end up being the theme for the rest of the month of April, because in my personal life I just have so many things going on. But it's crazy that I was given a word before things started to come. So it was as if I was being set up almost to handle and to be equipped for the things that are happening as of right now. And those things I cannot discuss right now. But when it's time, I'm definitely going to come back to my listeners and let them know exactly what is happening. It's just that now isn't the time. And if you are new, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope that you come. I hope that you stay, and I hope that you enjoy my content. And for those of you who come every single week, I can't do this without you. Your support is everything, and I deeply and greatly appreciate you. So let's talk about this word that I was given, and I'm going to read it to you. And it says, as long as it is day, we must do the works of him who sent me. Night is coming when no one can work. While I am in the world, I am the light of the world. And for those of you who don't know where those words came from, it actually came from the Bible, out of the book of John, chapter 9, verses 4-5. And I was given it, and I was like, man, what is this all about? And I realized that, it carries a significant message, because it's reminding you and reminding us of the importance of doing good works in the world while we have an opportunity to, because there is going to come a time when none of us will be able to do what we're doing. So while we're here, we should be a light in this world. So I really wanted to break that down and talk about it throughout the month. And the way that I've viewed it is, number one, we need to recognize the value of time and why time is so important, because literally God is saying to us, time is limited. So as long as it is day, we must do our work, because there's going to come a time when we can't anymore. And I know I said that, so we can't waste the precious time that we have. Okay. And the second week, we're going to talk about embracing the sense of urgency, because that sense of urgency is built from night is coming. So we need to move with a sense of urgency when it comes to working in our purpose, right? And in taking action on our goals and our vision. And next we'll get into be a light in the world and what that really means. I know that God refers to him in Jesus Christ as who I follow. Please understand and hear my words. When you come to my videos, I'm not here to tell you who your God should be. Not at all. And I also believe that you can learn a lesson from many different genres. So please stay for the message and don't get wrapped up in the fact if you think I'm trying to convert you. I am not. But I will tell you who saved me, and the reason why I'm standing today is because of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So I know that he was referring to himself as being a light in the world, right? And being kind and compassionate and serving others. And it really can be that simple, but we're actually going to break that down and what it means to be a light in the world. And lastly, we're going to end the month of April talking about taking action and why it's so important to take action, and make a positive impact in your community through volunteering or donating to a charity, or just simply, being an influence to other people, coming every single Sunday and talking and giving away content over and over again. These are things that we can do to take action. But overall, this month theme is really going to focus on the importance truly of taking those actions towards the goal and making a positive impact, because honestly, we should all be doing something to make this place the way we want to see it. Because here's the thing that I see all the time. There's a lot of complaining going around and people talking about the way they would like the world to be, but never really understanding that it begins and ends with you. You making a choice, you making a decision to say, hey, listen, I am going to do something. I'm going to do something that I was charged with, that is within me. Because I'm here to tell you that your vision and your purpose in life is not outside of you. It is definitely in you. And it takes for you to dig deep to find out what that thing is, and actually to walk in it. Because it is the most beautiful, most fulfilling thing you could ever do. And, so this week we're actually going to be talking about, the value of time. And I was researching this, and when I researched it, it was like, okay, what's really getting in the way of people doing what they're supposed to be doing? And you find that people waste a lot of time. And so they say on average, a person spends 2 hours and 22 minutes on social media just scrolling. Not posting for business, not handling business, but scrolling. So I was like, okay, what are the top 6 time wasters? Number 1, unnecessary meetings. And because I actually am still in corporate America, still in management, I definitely get this. We schedule so many meetings about the meeting that's coming for the next meeting, and it's truly a waste of time, and it stops us from being productive. So the number 1, stop scheduling the meeting for the meeting. And if you do need to have a meeting, be intentional about it. Make sure there's an agenda and make sure that you stick to it, right? So number 1, time waster, unnecessary meetings. Secondly, social media. We all know this, and the thing about it is, it's going to be up to you to decide. Am I going to spend time working on my craft, working on my purpose, mastering the things that I say that I want to achieve in life? Or am I going to spend that time on social media and truthfully television as well? So truthfully, it's social media and television were in the top 2. Next, procrastination. So many people procrastinate and wait on the world to change, never realizing that they have to take the first step, because God will meet you where you step and not where you stand. And that's just the truth. We have to get into action. Next, perfectionism. And a lot of that perfectionism can come from many different things. It could come from imposter syndrome, not believing that you deserve, or you're like, who am I to do this thing that I think that I'm want to do in this world. I suffer from that a lot. When I first started doing these videos, it's like, well, who are you to come in here and to help people better their best, And of course, when you first start something, you're going to feel that way. But the truth of the matter is, if something is within you and you work on your craft like I do every single day, repetition is mastery, and you'll grow to overcome that. Okay? So we have to get past perfectionism. And it's usually a self-confidence thing. Next, multitasking and lack of organization. Huge time waster. Because the thing is, if you don't have organization, that's why you can't move as fast. Because you don't know where anything is and you're all over the place. And then everybody thinks that they can multitask and throw 1,000 things in the air. Listen, I was a single mom. I was married as well. So, I don't want to act like my ex-husband didn't help, because he definitely did. And even though I was multicasting all these balls in the air, I dropped some balls. And the truth of the matter is, trying to multitask when you're working on your dream, it's a huge waste of time, because you cannot chase 2 rabbits. You literally will not catch either. And I need you to think about that. And lastly, the biggest, because I wanted to give you the top 6 time wasters, not saying no. And understanding that no is a complete sentence. My people pleasers, who want to show up for everything and do everything for everyone except for themselves. And so it's not that, I don't want to say that you're wasting time helping others, because I get it and I understand it. But here's the problem in that. If you're busy helping everyone else and you're looking around right now as you're listening to this video and you're saying, I'm not living the life that I want to live, that I deserve to live, then that's a problem. Okay, so top 6, unnecessary meetings, social media and TV, procrastination, perfectionism, multitasking, and not saying no. And so here's what I want you to know. By learning how to manage your time effectively, this will help you make the most of the opportunities to do the good works that we started to talk about. So this is why managing your time is going to be so important. Okay? And then it when you actually think about it, overall the goal is to be more productive. And why do we want to be more productive? To live a greater life, to do bigger things in this world. It's the truth of the matter. And it may be, and so what does that look like? It could be financial freedom for yourself, for your family, the legacy that you want to leave. It could be, actually changing things in the community that you live in or that you're from and you want to go back and help. All of that. See, everybody thinks that, if I blow up and I get $1 million, everything in my life will be better. That's not necessarily the truth. The most fulfilling accomplishment in the world is what you're able to do for others with the abundance that you have. But we can't get to the abundance if we can't get to managing our time and prioritizing. So the number one thing you have to think about with time management is prioritizing your goals based upon your values. You have to have things in priority order. Okay? And then I want you to think about it from the standpoint of shifting your mindset out of scarcity and lack to one of abundance. And so what does that do? Once you start to shift your mindset, it's going to help you be like, okay, I need to be better with my time. So instead of spending time watching, an hour television show, I'm going to spend an hour journaling. I'm going to spend an hour meeting with like-minded individuals that can help me with my goals. Or I'm going to spend an hour writing the vision and making it plain, right? So that I can actually then reverse engineer into the vision. So, and then there are so many things that you can use nowadays to help you. It's not like back in the day. Like, listen, when I came up, we didn't have, all of these apps. They have so many things that you can utilize that can help you value your time better. And then they actually help you focus. And there's also different exercises. I actually do some of these exercises with my clients, and I'll actually be able to give you some of those. But really what I want you to hear from me today in terms of valuing your time is that it's time to get into action. Literally, everything in our world as we know it is shifting. It's changing. So you have to start to shift and change with it. And so sometimes people, I know I hear it all the time, it's like, well, what about downtime? That's why I want you to get an actual schedule together. And do you have to schedule downtime? Absolutely. I have to schedule my downtime. 100%. But I'd rather schedule my downtime and then work towards being financially free than to be frustrated and just have a bunch of downtime. You have to ask yourself truthfully, what is it that you want? Because what this revelation is teaching me is that I have to get after what I want now. Because everything that I can be, do I have anything I want in this world, but it's not going to come to me. So I have to prepare for it. I have to go after it. Okay, first I have to get some clarity around it, but we've talked about this before. So if you haven't, go back. I have plenty of videos talking about how to get clear on your vision. But today we're talking about time management. So the very first thing I want you to do is prioritize your task of importance of urgency, right? So what that could look like is create a daily and a weekly schedule that aligns with your goals. What do you need to get done today? So here's how we break it down. So truthfully, what we do is we have a vision for a year. We have a yearly vision. And I've done this in previous videos, but I'm gonna give it again to you today. And so what we do is we break that then down by quarter. And so now, as of right now, we're in quarter 2. So quarter 2, say for example, in quarter 2, you want to earn $6,000 in your business. I know it's a low ball number, but let's just go there, right? $6,000 in your business. Okay, so then you have to break that quarter down and say, well, what is it that I need to do each month? And then break that down and say, how much do I need to earn each day? Okay, and so you would prioritize your goals for that day centered around that. Some of it could be, like for example, my quarter two goal is to earn $6,000 in my business. And today I will create an email marketing campaign that I am going to send out to my emailing list. Okay, so that's a way of looking at how to prioritize a task and do the hard things first. You want to start your morning off with doing the hard things first and getting it out of the way, whatever that is, that looks like for you. In terms of, we're talking about, I want to be abundantly clear, we're talking about the fact that as long as it is day, we must do the works of him who sent me. What is it that God put in you that you need to be doing? What is it that he put in? Here's the thing, it's so simple. It's the vision you can't break, that you can't get away from, that you think is for everybody else, but no, it's for you. That you scroll on social media and think, oh, it's for them, but no, it's for you. And so, like I said, the very number one thing, okay, so I'm going to give you six tips and tools. Number one, prioritize the task, okay? Number two, use a timer. So I love that when I set up my calendar, and we call it the 168 calendar. So it literally, from the time I get up in the morning till I go to bed at night, I know what I'm doing, and there's a time set behind it. So say, for example, I'm getting prepared to come and talk to my Self-Love Sunday people. That means I'm doing research. That means I want to look up the topic I want to talk to you about. I want to look up what tips and tools I can give you so you can get into action with it. So I will put down on my calendar that I'm going to spend 30 minutes 2 or 3 days a week to do that. I actually set a timer on my phone. So when that 30 minutes is up, I'm done. And then I move on. Why? Because here's the thing. If I allow things to just keep running over, I never get to the next thing that needs to be completed. And so if you break your tasks down in such a way that they're in smaller chunks, you can get things done. I find that if sometimes I know everything is not for everybody. I know that this may not work for everybody, but generally I want to give you what works for my clients. Some of them sitting for an hour and a half to 2 hours working on something never works. So we've worked it out so that we work on small chunks 2 to 3 times a week to actually get it done. All right. So use a timer is number 2. Number 3, delegate. Where in your life can you delegate and get help for some of the smaller things on your list? I'll give you a prime example. Because I want to spend more time working on my craft than, going out and talking about my book and working with my coach, I hired someone to clean my home. That frees me up where, I would spend hours working on cleaning. Now I have someone come in to do it. So it frees me up so then I can work on my craft. I also sometimes, listen, if my kids can't go get the groceries, sometimes I Instacart. I realize that costs more money. But here's the thing about that though. I make more money working than I do going to the grocery store. So that's how I think about that. Okay. So think of where in your life can you delegate? Number 4, now I'm old school. So I literally, no lie, have a calendar that I write everything on, and it's usually like filled, up and down. But now they have apps. They have productivity apps. One is called like Rescue Time. And actually the one app that I truly love, that if you have an iPhone, and I'm not sure if you have an Android, they have it, is how much screen time are you actually using? That is a wonderful app because people are not self-aware. When I talk to clients, a lot of times, I don't spend that much time scrolling on social media. And then I'll ask for the data. And they're shocked to find out they've spent 4 to 5 hours scrolling on social media, sometimes 6 if we include YouTube. And I love YouTube because I use it for content and I share content with you guys. And it can be a great thing, but if it's pulling you away from working on your goals, your vision, then it's not great. So I want you to utilize those productivity apps, all right, to see where you're spending majority of your time. So number 5, they also have, this one I love. They have wearable devices. So, I'm a little bit of a nerd. So I love to track, my heart rate and things of that nature. But when it comes to focus. When it comes to mental clarity, if you feel like you're having some sort of issues with that, there's a couple of things that I suggest you do. Number one, I say to my clients all the time, make sure you go get a full checkup on yourself to make sure your hormones are not, out of whack. I tell everybody every chance I get, it is what it is. Yes, I'm going through menopause, so I'm all out of whack. But someone told me about this thing called Muse headband, and it's a brain sensing device that helps improve, your meditation practice. And what does meditation practice do? Helps you increase focus. All right. They have Fitbits and all different types of smartwatches as well to also track your sleep quality, because a lot of times we're not focused because we're not getting proper rest. All of this has to do with time management, because if you're tired and you find yourself, napping all the time, or, you can't really function well, that also hurts what you're doing with your time. Because here's the thing, if you're not thinking clearly, then you're not getting the job done. That means you're not focused on your craft. That means you're not mastering that thing. Therefore, your time is going out the window. Okay, so we definitely need to make sure that we're checking ourselves out with our doctors, checking ourselves out with some of these apps. I actually used to have a Fitbit, loved it, lost it. I lose a lot of things, but my Apple Watch, I love that too. Actually, my Apple Watch was really good, and I ended up giving that to my son because they're my babies. But that's neither here nor there. And then lastly, there's my kids are. It's just like the latest technology. They always talk to me about VR. I'm actually not into VR, but doing some research, there's actually new ways for clients to actually work on visualization and practice time management skills, like in the VR experience. And it's something that's called Time Crafters app. Personally, I haven't used it, but why am I bringing this to you? Because I'm old school. I was born in the 70s, so I use old school meditation practices. That means me sitting quietly, listening to meditation music. I can clear out my space. I know how to work on my breath work, but I also realize that there is an audience that I am attracting that is into all of this new age technology that I really don't know much about, and I'm not going to proclaim to know a lot about it. But what I will do, and I'm great at doing, is researching. So I wanted to bring you what I was told was the best. And actually, I was told that Time Crafters app is actually awesome with helping people manage their time effectively by prioritizing tasks, delegating responsibilities, and avoiding distractions. I'm going to tell you up front, VR is not for me. It just isn't. I am old school through and through. There is nothing to me like sitting in a meditative state and really just taking that nice inhale, holding it, and then exhaling, and just letting my mind clear out. And as I'm doing it, visualizing not just my goals for today, but where I see myself, how I see myself standing on a stage, how I see myself speaking to people, how I see myself pouring into people, how I see myself growing, how I see myself loving, right? That's me. And when I come out of that state, then I go to journaling because I love writing. That's my way. And I realize that I have to start opening up to other people's ways as well. So I want to be able to bring you, because I said every single Sunday we were going to come and talk about all the ways in which we can better our best. So if I can research and bring things to you that can help you better your best outside of my scope, I'm absolutely going to do that, because I want to see us win. And again, I'm going to end this the way I started it, which is what was brought to me, which was, as long as it is day, we must do the works of him who sent me. You have to do what God put you here to do, whoever you call your God, all right? Because night is coming when no man can work. And when that night comes, I want you to be able to say that I managed my time effectively so that I could live out my vision, and I had the things that I desired because I deserve them and I worked towards them and I gained that. So when the night comes, guess what that means? You've left legacy for your family. I mean, this is the works of a good man, right? To leave legacy for your children's children. And if you don't have children, I will always ask the question, how will your family 3 generations removed that's coming behind you know that you were here? What is it that you're going to do starting today, starting here, starting right now to change the trajectory of your family so that you can do that? Because while you are in the world, it is time for you to shine your light so brightly. Stop dimming your light for other people. Stop dimming your light by comparing yourselves to others. Stop dimming your light thinking that you're unworthy. Stop dimming your light because of imposter syndrome. Know that if God gave it to you, let it shine all over. There used to be a song my grandmother used to sing, "This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine." And I pray that my content, I pray that me opening up to you, I pray that my book helps you to just light up even more, because I want you, as a result of listening to this, to manage your time effectively so you can do all the things that you want to do. Just, if you only knew that life can change in an instant. That's what I'm learning right now in this season and what's happening in my personal life. That life can change in an instant. Literally not see something coming and everything changes. And we have no control over it. So in the meantime, we can control the controllables, which is our mental health, our emotional health, our physical health, our financial health, and our spiritual health. But the very first thing I want you to do starting today is work on your time management. And next week, when I come back next Sunday, we're going to talk about embracing a sense of urgency. I love you for listening. I hope you have the most fantastic Easter if you celebrate. And if not, I just hope you have a great Sunday and a great rest of the week. I love you.